Everybody talks about how Shopify dropshipping has changed their lives, but I wanted to do something a little bit different in this video. I wanted to talk about how Shopify dropshipping nearly ruined mine, and all the mistakes and the pitfalls that I made so that you don't have to make them in your own e-commerce journey. Now, I'm going to be revealing for you my exact product, my store, my ads, and why my ads worked, and also my ads manager, and to kind of show you my thought process of going through this and what really made this my first successful Shopify dropshipping store and how it ultimately ended up in failure. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. What's up guys, my name's Josh and I'm a 7-figure entrepreneur who primarily sells on Shopify. Now before I should get started, I really want to go back and take you back to where my roots are. I originally grew up in Australia. I was born and raised there, and I'm 28 years old now, but I wasn't always selling on Shopify. I wasn't always interested in dropshipping and e-commerce and marketing and all these kinds of great things. Now, I got started into this whole game 4 or 5 years ago, but that was at the end of my accounting career, or my accounting career back then. I trained up, for 7 years studying as a CPA, and at the same time working full-time in one of the big corporations in Australia as a tax accountant. I learned everything. I worked a 9-to-5 job. I really was unhappy with where I was at. Every morning I would come to work, jump onto public transport, jump onto the train, and be with everyone else, being disappointed with my life, kind of looking at, scrolling on Facebook and MySpace and all that kinds of stuff when I was getting started, and I was just really unhappy, like my boss would always continue to come out, he would come out, yell orders at me, tell me, when is this tax return going to be ready? And I was seeing people on YouTube, saying like how they're traveling the world and all these kinds of things, and I was thinking like, how can't I have that as well? Like, why is it that I have to work for this guy from 9 to 5 or so? That was my salaried position. Like, why was it that I had to work that time in exchange for money? It wasn't even a lot of money during that time as well. I was getting paid when I first got started in accounting, like 50,000 Australian dollars, which is like peanuts when you consider how many hours I put into that field and that profession. I was just ultimately really, really unhappy. I was helping people make money to not pay tax in their country, and I was not getting any money back. My hourly rate at that time was, I think, like $250 or something crazy like that. That didn't make any sense because my hourly wage or my salaried position, I think it was anywhere between like $23, $24. So like, how can they justify charging 2.5 times what they were paying me to the client? It just doesn't make any sense. Ultimately, I saw all these YouTube videos. I was like, all right, screw it. I'm going to get started in this. I started watching a ton of YouTube videos on how to get started with Shopify dropshipping, how to earn money online, all these kinds of things. And, I failed a whole bunch. So let me get started with the first big lesson that I learned along my journey. I mentioned already to you guys that I bought a ton of courses, low value, crappy courses. And, I paid a mentor out in Germany and all these kinds of things. But the thing that was really missing wasn't just this course or, the magic ingredient to my success. It was the fact of like intentionality. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you was, if you're going to jump onto this journey, to really be intentional about it. Like, don't be one of those people who are, looking for the next big thing, like Shopify dropshipping or affiliate marketing or, Amazon FBA, business models that are out there online. They're just jumping from one thing to another. Now, if you want to select building a brand and, using Shopify and Facebook and Google as traffic sources to really build your brand, then that's great, but really be intentional about it. So because you can buy all the courses in the world, you can have all the mentors in the world, but if you're not really going to jump into it, really be intentional about it, then all of that's going to just be wasted money, and you can just do, a better job, working your 9 to 5 and just be happy and content with it. Because if you're not intentional, guys, if you're jumping into this field, it's going to be really difficult for you without intentionality, because the truth of the matter is it's bloody hard. It's hard to build up a store. It's hard to do all these other things, but if you're really, really set on it, then it definitely can be achieved, because it's been achieved by myself and plenty of other people that I know in this field that have made amazing lives for themselves. So first thing is intentionality, guys. You need to really stick to your guns, willing to do whatever it takes to get this working. Now, the second mistake that I made, right, is just jumping into any kind of product out there. I was trying to sell like this weird this weird spoon that would squeeze food into the baby's mouths. I was also trying to sell like the infamous massage gun. I was trying to sell at the time fidget spinners, because they were like they were on the upward trend at that time. It wasn't until I started looking at products a little bit differently and started realizing that on the other side of this screen, this product page that I was building was another human being. So I really had to go through an experience of changing how I looked at my customers and really do an in-depth deep dive into who I'm selling to and what makes them tick and what gets them really fired up for a certain product. Now, if you guys want to learn a little bit more about that, so I'm going to link a video I did for you right here that goes through, how to think about products differently, how to, get a huge list of products, how to then look for audiences that are super enthusiastic for that product, and then use that as a basis to help you decide whether to go through with it or not. Because ultimately what I learned was, if you don't understand your audience and you don't understand that you're selling to another person, and if you just look at them as like, how can these guys make me money? How can they make me rich? You're not gonna succeed in this game, because ultimately, when you're selling things online, you're looking for a value exchange. Okay, so you'll want to provide value to your customer, and then in return, they're going to give you back money. Okay, so that's a value exchange right there. It wasn't until I understood this concept of I'm selling to another person, I really need to take this seriously, was that I actually learned how to understand human psychology, how to formulate my product page so it really resonates with my customer, and therefore improve conversions and kind of squeeze out every dollar that I spent on Facebook to get my ideal customer. Now, the third lesson that I want to go through, guys, is to not get some random mentor that has no credibility. I was spending, like I said, $3,000 a month for this guy to jump on with me every single week and kind of go through my ads and my product page and all these kinds of things. But ultimately, guys, like, this was just a big waste of money. I think he was getting me to sell like humidifiers and this cat shaky toy, even like this product that would protect women's privates from chafing or something like that. It was crazy, guys. I can't believe I went out and I spent $3,000 on this. It's just ridiculous, really. Make sure that the mentor that you're going to go in, invest into. I'm not saying that mentors are bad, but make sure that they're credible. Don't just believe anyone online that says, I make $1 million and all these kinds of things. Because look, fact of the matter is, screenshots and all of these kinds of things can be faked, guys. I can show you in the next video if you want how easily it is to fake this kind of stuff. And I just didn't know at the time, and gosh, I spent $3,000 of my savings. And kind of, if I could go back and really change one thing, it would be that just to get back that money, because I was on with him for I think 2 months. So that's $6,000 right there that was out of my pocket that I could have invested into inventory or learning more about marketing and human psychology and all these kinds of things. But I didn't. I spent it on some guy who was like, oh yeah, just duplicate the ad 20 times in this campaign, and then like each one was like a $10 ad set. So I was spending like $200 a day and getting back nothing for it. And he was like, it's testing. I was naive, guys. I was so naive. So just don't make that mistake, okay? So go back and really vet the mentors that you want to invest into, because the right mentor will really take you far, but the wrong mentor can really just burn a hole in your pocket. Okay, guys, so now that I've gone through my top 3 big mistakes that I made, and I've kind of talked about where I came from and all that kinds of stuff, let's go through my first successful Shopify dropshipping store and all the mistakes that I made here, and the successful store going to failure and ultimately leading me to shut down the store down the track. So you know what? I'm in AliExpress right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the exact same product. I think it was like something like this, and I'll show you the supplier that I used as well. So let's sort this by orders. There it is, guys. So I was selling this product really heavily in Australia and UK and the US as well. I think I was selling this something with between $40 to $75 depending on how many they bought. But ultimately, there was some good profit margins here, guys. I think there were, it's like 4 times the amount or whatnot. I finally started getting like consistent sales sales with this. Let me go through and show you my ad account and show you, the mistakes that I made. I first started this ad account up in, I think it was actually September 23 right here. So you can see I just sorted this out, and I just wanted to show you the winning ad creative that I had to kind of just show you, like, I had no idea what I was doing, guys. Here it is. So let me just go here and then let's watch it together. You can see here, like, that's the brand name. I was always, really proud of how I always had a little skill for understanding what looks good, right? So I developed up Bub's Haven. It was an amazing name, I thought, and I was really happy with the logo and everything like that. But you can see here, if I go through with the link, nothing happens. It's been closed because I ultimately threw in the towel. Now, why did I do this? It's because as I was selling, guys, when I was selling this product, I didn't realize that there was another competitor selling this exact same product, and they had actually trademarked the product and patented the design of it. So I was selling this illegally, and I was doing all this, and you can see here, like, I was getting some decent sales here and there. My profit was there. I was making a little bit of money, a couple $100 a day or whatever it was. Ultimately, I think I got called out on Instagram DMs, the Instagram page, and they reached out to me and said, "Hey, you're selling a patented product." So I looked up the company, and sure enough, I was like, surely they're not, they're not legit. They're just drop shipping as well. They're not doing anything, legitimate. And bam, I go to their website, and it's the exact same thing that I'm selling. Like, if you have a look here, it's the exact same thing, guys. Like, all these products, all these things here, they buy it in bulk and they sell it all in Australia. Like, even this bunny thing is sold out. Like, they're still selling to this day in 2021. So I was like, okay, so they're a legitimate store now, but does that mean that it's actually illegal for me to sell this? So I jumped onto IP Australia, right? And this is the Patent and Trademark Office of Australia. And I had a look at the design search. And here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna type them in, Mr. Fly, and there you go. As you can see, they did actually patent and trademark. They went on and they legally protected all of their products here. You can see it's all here, guys. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get sued. I'm gonna lose all my money, and I'm just I don't know. Okay, so I responded back to them. I said, okay, hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I'm gonna stop selling it now. And that's when I hired my mentor, right? Because this product wasn't selling, and I started to see this green. I started hearing the Shopify cha-ching, cha-ching, and like I was like, it was euphoric, this dopamine hit of money coming in, and I just woken up and all these kinds of things. So it was great, right? But I was so desperate that I hired this mentor out in Germany for like $3,000 a month, and he was showing me things like, let me go through with it. Let me show you things like this, guys. It was like a baby humidifier. And it was like winter time, so I was like, okay, surely this product is something that I could sell, right? It was pretty cute, eye-catching out on the thing. And then, there were people commenting on it, there was people doing something. So I was like, okay, maybe this could be, the thing that gets me there. But sure enough, I had no idea what I was doing. So if I go in here and I type in something like humidifier, you can see here, like, I was just losing money consistently because I didn't even know what, like, the right ROAS to have, all these kinds of stuff. So I just didn't know what I was doing, guys. So my big lesson from this, guys, is when you're doing product research, not only to understand, and I'm going to link that video up here again, not only to understand that, yes, there is another person that is buying your product on the other side of this screen, and you really need to understand what makes them tick and all these kinds of stuff. You really need to do a little bit more deeper research of each product. Ultimately, make like $7,000, $8,000, and then just have it all come to a screeching halt. Because the fact of the matter is, guys, there are so many sellers out there, and we're just competing with so many people, and I was unprepared, and because of that, I had this cash cow that was ultimately doing well for myself. There was attribution issues and all these kinds of things, but I was making money here. I just made this big mistake of having it all taken away from me, and I just was kicking myself at that point. I got so desperate, and then we moved on to my next mistake. When I was shipping this product from AliExpress, you can see here, guys, that the date is March 19th. Now, I was shipping to Australia and all these kinds of stuff, and all these shipping, times looked great. But you can see here, I paid $247 and it will arrive in the US, April 26th, which is like a month and 10 days or something like that from today, which is just ridiculous, guys. Now with Amazon and all these kinds of, big e-commerce websites out there, customers and consumers are more used to receiving their parcels in a timely manner. So that's the next mistake that I found, guys, was thinking of AliExpress as the way to do dropshipping. What I have to stress is that yes, for beginners, it's very easy to start dropshipping from AliExpress, and you can definitely make it work. I made it work, guys, but you were getting a lot of customer complaints that were saying, hey, this parcel is from AliExpress. So I was using AliExpress standard shipping, and on the actual parcel itself, it said from AliExpress. So now one of my consumers or the customers, they actually looked up my product and saw that I was buying it for $15, but I just charged her $60 something for it, USD, right? So they were so angry. So this is another mistake that I made, guys, was that not using like credible shipping lines, and I was just going through AliExpress and kind of just hoping for the best. Like I didn't have people to kind of teach me that there were other ways of shipping. Yeah, it was a nightmare. When I first got that email, I was like, oh my gosh. I remember the day actually specifically. Yeah, my wife and I at that time, we were playing badminton, and we just finished up work for the day, and I got this email, and I nearly had a heart attack, guys. Like it was the worst feeling ever, knowing that another person had called me a scammer, and I really don't want that. I really don't want that reputation for myself, and it really went against a lot of my ethics and my morals. I was just really upset. But the moral of the story is, with AliExpress, it's great to get started, but you have to understand that when you're doing Shopify dropshipping, if you're going to use AliExpress, use it as a way of proving your concept only. Don't use it as a way of building a sustainable business, because let me just tell you really quickly, it's not going to be possible. It's really going to be difficult, and customers, you're going to get customer complaints, chargebacks, refund requests, and your feedback quality score, your page quality score is going to drop, and Facebook's going to ban you, and it's just going to go, everything's just going to hit the fan, and it's just not going to be good for you. Okay, so use AliExpress as a way of proving the concept and validating a proof of concept. Like if you have a product that you think that you can sell, sure, go ahead and look to sell it, but don't look to make any profits at the beginning. Look to just prove the concept. Make sure that it sells. Don't get too caught up on logo, branding, packaging, all these kinds of things. And then once you've proven that your product can sell and your theory is actually validated, what you can do is you can reinvest those profits back into inventory, and you can send it either to a third-party logistics company, or have an agent that kind of works with you, or ship it to yourself and ship out every order from your home. As that's how I started out as well. Like I was just shipping orders out as they were coming in, and I was shipping it out from my home. And then after that, after the volume just gets too much and you just need more space, that's when you move on to a third-party logistics company where they can just handle orders for you. So what you do is, you just grow one step at a time, and you work on, focusing on the compounding effects of things that are really going to move your needle, right? Move the needle of your company actually getting success. Now, let me just tell you guys, after making all these mistakes, what has it done for me? Right? I always keep alluding to, okay, this is the business, I run businesses and all that kinds of stuff. But let me just tell you guys, once you understand this idea of, looking out for products and how to brand products and all these kinds of things, it's very easy to replicate it. I've done it multiple times over, and we've got 4 successful stores. And that allows me 4 or 5 years ago, I was in Australia working as an accountant, but now today, even during amidst this crazy time, I've actually been able to leave Australia on business and come come to the US and live in Houston currently just to run my business from here. And it's just a life-changing experience, guys. I hope that this video really helped you, and I hope that you really learn from my mistakes, because I really don't want you to make those mistakes, guys. You know, you don't need to go out and waste $10,000 of your own money on these mistakes. It really doesn't have to be like that. If you're really intentional with it, you know, you really want to learn the marketing side of things and how to look for products, you know, consume free content like this on YouTube. When I used to work a 9-to-5 job, it was really hard to save money, and to see $10,000 lost right at the end, it was really painful to not only to my ego, but to my, you know, self-esteem. I just thought I was just a failure at everything. So guys, I really don't want you to go through that, because those things could have been avoided. Learn from my mistakes, be intentional, really take the learnings, really understand how this model works, and change your expectations, and look to build a sustainable business in the long term, and look to provide value to your customers. Okay guys, so if you've enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below, like, what were some biggest takeaways, and if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask me as well. I'll be more than happy to help you along, because I really don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. So guys, this is all the time that we have for today. I really appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, and hit that notification bell for the next video that I release. I'm looking to release videos every single Wednesday, so just be on the lookout for them, and I'll catch you in the next one. Catch you later. Bye.